Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. And, of course, Threads. So important. We're on Threads. So a lot of people have been, well, yeah, but, okay, you're on Twitter. But what about Threads, where I practically live my life? That's why we're there.
Thank you. They just got an app update last night, so...
Of course they did.
Only you would know this.
And me. Of course I...
Yes, we talked about it.
And the trillions of people who use Threads.
Pat was upset because, like you said, you spend every moment of your life on Threads, and you're like, oh, I have to update now? I have to close the app and open it back up? Oh, I don't have this kind of time.
Hate that. Because I probably, in that amount of time where I had to reboot it, I probably would have written 30 threads.
And I believe
posted and written and then posted.
I think it's fair to say that you're the only human keeping Threads alive.
And that's what's so frustrating, is because he's on there talking to himself, and every now and then we'll check in on Pat over on Threads, and we're like, dude, no one's there.
It really isn't doing well, is it? I mean, you don't hear any buzz on it at all.
Now Instagram forces you to click on Threads, which is annoying.
So sad.
Jeez. So when you're on Instagram, do you have to have Threads as well?
No, you don't. But sometimes
didn't it start out that way?
It didn't. No.
Oh, I thought in order to get Instagram, you had to have Threads.
No, it just connected your account, so basically it doubled up. But right now, what they're doing is, Pat Gray posted a picture, and then you click on it, and it takes you to the picture that you posted on Threads. And I'm like, I don't care what Pat posted on Threads.
Hold on. I think you left off the words "in theory."
In theory,
that Pat in theory posted on Threads.
All right.
What a mess.
Anyway, welcome. There's all kinds of places you can find us. YouTube. It's youtube.com/Pat Gray.
Yes.
And so we'd love it if you would subscribe there. We got kind of a slow start on YouTube. Didn't pay any attention to it, and now we are. So we'd appreciate a subscribe there. And, of course, just trying to keep the apocalypse fun. That's what we're doing. And so you can find us doing that on all of these platforms.
And by the way, if you sign up on YouTube, the broadcast that you're watching now live is completely different than what gets posted on YouTube because we like to add more stuff to the content.
Noah stays busy.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
All right. Liberal writer Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic wrote a story yesterday that starts out like this. The world found out shortly before 2 p.m. Eastern Time on March 15th that the United States was bombing Houthi targets across Yemen. I, however, knew 2 hours before the first bombs exploded that the attack might be coming. The reason I knew this is that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, had texted me the war plan at 11:44 a.m. The plan included precise information about weapons packages, targets, and timing. Jeez. It appears National Security Advisor Michael Waltz is responsible for accidentally adding Goldberg to the group text on the encrypted Signal app.
Yeah, this is a mess. Man.
That is a mess. That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're not getting enough flack as it is, and people aren't making it really hard for them to do their jobs as it is.
Yeah.
And then a screw up like this, oof, that looks bad.
18 administration officials on this Signal thread, if you will, including CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Scott Bessent, Secretary of Treasury, Tulsi Gabbard, Marco Rubio. Obviously, you mentioned Vance. I mean, this is... I don't know, man. They're trying to downplay it. I will say that Michael Waltz, if nothing else, I think he should be busted for using... Look at he rolls emoji heavy. As you can see by the, that right there alone should get him in trouble with the administration.
Yeah.
Fist bump, American flag, and then fire. But, I don't know. Vance didn't like
not good.
The fact that we were helping Europe. You know, he's like, screw Europe. I mean, he didn't type that specifically. But it's interesting, a little behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
Got to be careful. And I don't know.
Yeah. How does that happen? Why would you...
Some have speculated that he was typing initials, and I forget who he was
That MW came up, or no, he's the one.
JG, I forget who it was.
Yeah, Jeffrey Goldberg, JG or whatever.
Yeah.
He typed in something and it automatically popped up.
Well, it was supposed to be somebody else.
Like it autofills when you do the address.
Correct.
Still, you got to be careful if you're.
Now they're getting flack for using Signal. I am curious, how normally would they have gone about communicating like this? Like, is there? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. But
carrier pigeons, smoke signals. Smoke signals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Usually, I think they go with smoke signals. It's a tried and true form of communication. You can't beat it.
So
and a lot of people can't read them. Yeah, a lot of people can't read it.
And that's part of the charm of using that.
Exactly.
Because then you're just daring your opponent to try to crack the code.
Right, decipher this.
Yeah.
And then you put the rug over the fire and then you lift it, and they can't.
So I don't know, man. I don't see what kind of fallout we're going to get
it's going to be ugly.
From this.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
Another big investment in America yesterday with President Trump welcoming South Korean automaker Hyundai to the White House. They're investing $20 billion, I believe.
Let's see.
Here's the big announcement.
Today, we're delighted to report that Hyundai is announcing a major $5.8 billion investment in American manufacturing. In particular, Hyundai will be building a brand new steel plant in Louisiana, which will produce more than 2.7 million metric tons of steel a year, creating more than 1,400 jobs for American steelworkers. And then there'll be major expansion after that. This will be Hyundai's first ever steel mill in the United States, one of the largest companies in the world, by the way, supplying steel for its auto parts and auto plants in Alabama and Georgia, which will soon produce more than 1 million American-made cars every single year. The cars are coming into this country at levels never seen before. Get ready. This investment is a clear demonstration that tariffs very strongly work, and I hope other things also, but the tariffs are bringing them in at levels that have not been witnessed.
That means it's good.
Yeah. Nice suit, too, by the way.
Talking about the guy on the right?
Yeah.
What'd you like about it, Pat?
The color is really stunning. It's very special.
It stood out.
Very special.
For sure.
It does stand out.
Baby powder blue.
Yeah, no, honey. That's not, no.
No. Oh, wait. I thought you said you did like it.
That's what I did say.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't mean that, Keith.
Oh.
So, yeah, I did. Really? I actually didn't mean it. And I hardly ever say anything I don't absolutely mean in a literal sense. So, that's probably surprising that I actually didn't
that's
like
what threw me.
Yeah. Here's a look at the almost $3 trillion in investments, though, coming into the U.S.
Incredible.
Since Trump. The UAE has invested $1.4 trillion.
That is
good
phenomenal.
Golly, yeah. $1.4 trillion, $600 billion from Saudi Arabia. That'll probably increase. They don't want to be beaten up by the UAE. Hyundai, $20 billion. Apple, $500 billion. NVIDIA, $100 billion. SoftBank, Oracle, OpenAI, $100 billion. TSMC, $100 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $55 billion. CMA, CGM Group, $20 billion. Eli Lilly, $27 billion. $1 billion from Merck, and another $1 billion from GE Aerospace. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, and a lot of those are obviously directly connected to the tariff threats.
Right. Yeah, because people are going to have to move their facilities here to avoid the tariffs. So, in that sense, I guess it's working so far, right? I've never been a big tariff guy, but that seems to be working.
I'd love to see the math breakdown of the cost of cheap labor as opposed to dealing with higher tariffs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's all specialized depending on which industry and obviously the percentage of tariffs. But long run, I mean, that's great because you have the American jobs, but you're not going to get the other way.
Well, he says it's going to make us very rich. We're going to be very, very rich. It's beautiful. We're going to be very rich, very, very rich. Nobody's ever seen anything so rich as this. It's beautiful. So we'll see how that works out. And if they really kick into gear, because it's April 1st, right?
Yes.
Which is 2nd. Mm-hmm. So that's rolling up.
He specifically moved it so that people wouldn't
fools.
think it was a joke.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he said that.
Yes.
Yep.
He sure did.
That's great.
Isn't that something? Got an extra day.
That is something.
So
all right.
Wednesday, a week from tomorrow. Buckle
I don't
up.
want to put you on the spot, Pat Gray, but is Kexi going to make an announcement of investment in the country?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, you guys.
But I'm going to wait till April 1st to announce the $17 trillion investment.
Wow.
That Kexi will be making. So
on April 1st, you're going to make that announcement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is it's a lot of. I mean, this is just 2 months now that we've made these investments coming in here. I mean, this is just the start.
For sure. I mean, yes, it's happened so fast. Mm-hmm. It takes your breath away. Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer is actively working to neuter the Trump presidency. It's fascinating because they see that they're in trouble. I got an Axios story about the panic that the Democrats are in right now.
Gotta love it.
We'll talk about that. But here was Schumer in February and then again Sunday morning.
I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win. We will win.
Leader Schumer, what do you say to members of your own party who feel like that type of resistance is not meeting the enormity of this moment, this political fight that's required?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, that was one day and one line, and but we are fighting in every way, in the courts, in oversight, in legislation, in organizing, and we're united. Hakeem and I are united. Our caucuses are united in moving forward on that way. And I think if we fight, as I said, we can make Donald Trump the quickest lame duck in recent history. His Republican colleagues will want to abandon him and will do very, very well in the 2026 election.
You're only hurting yourself. It's hurting you. And everybody in the Senate who is a Democrat and all the House Democrats and your chances in 2026. Yeah. This might be one of the very few midterms where after a sweeping election of one party, that same party wins in the midterms. Looks like that's going to happen again. I mean, they're very fearful that they could lose, 30 seats in the House.
Oh, gosh. In fact, Bill Maher was just talking about the other day, just based on population exodus from blue states alone and into red states, they're already at -9.
Jeez.
Just from the population shift. Never mind the political climate. But I thought Democrats taught us during Obama to root against a president is to root against your country. Yeah. And again, that's what Chuck Schumer continues to do. He's rooting against the president of the United States and succeeding. So, I guess you hate America, sir.
Yeah, well, he obviously does.
Yes.
He obviously does. And it's an agenda, too, that is pretty popular. I mean, poll after poll shows it. You are not winning. And they're doing that same chant that they did at the funeral of, what's-his-face in Minnesota. Do you remember that?
Oh, Wellstone.
We will win! We will win! Oh, my gosh. I wonder if I still have...
Oh, gosh. There's some clips I hope you don't.
And help us win this election for Paul Wellstone. For Paul Wellstone! Will you stand up?
Do it for Paul.
And keep fighting for social and economic justice. Say yes!
No.
We will win!
Ugh.
We will win! We will win!
There it is.
We will win!
Yeah.
We will win! We will win!
Again.
We will win!
That's the funeral of his father. Jeez. These people are just sick in the head. They're sick in their head. They're sick in their soul. They're just plain sick. It's pathetic. Wow. And they're not going to win. They're getting their heads kicked in right now, metaphorically speaking.
We got a clip later, though.
Oh, really?
Okay. One of them actually wants to brawl.
Oh, boy. Also, yesterday, President Trump held a cabinet meeting where the subject of illegal aliens was again discussed.
Yesterday, I was speaking to somebody. I was checking on the border, and they said there was literally nobody in this massive plaza. You know, we're talking a plaza that would hold hundreds of thousands of people. There was literally nobody there. There was one person sweeping it. There were no people. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing transformation very quickly. And we're getting the bad ones out first, and we're taking them out. And there's some really bad ones, murderers of more than one people. At least 50% murdered more than one person. This is the people that we're letting in through their open border policy. It was terrible. But I want to just congratulate you and Tom Homan on the job you've done. It's really.
Boston this weekend, hundreds of dangerous criminals were removed. 4 killers taken out of the country just by what they did in Boston this last few days.
And these are killers that there's no reasoning. It's not like, let's talk them out of it. These are stone cold killers. They don't care. They don't even think about it. They kill somebody. They go to sleep. They wake up. They don't even remember they killed them. These are bad people that should have never been allowed into our country.
Meanwhile, you've got the Democrats trying desperately to keep them here, and the judges who are appointed by Democrats trying desperately to keep them here. A U.S. appeals court judge said yesterday that Nazis receive better treatment than the Venezuelan nationals who were deported to El Salvador.
Oh, what?
Really? Yeah, okay.
I just want to know how they're determining who qualifies for the hellhole prison. Like, I still haven't gotten a satisfactory answer on what qualifies you for that prison.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going through a trial, right? I mean,
no. And that was his point. They're not even having hearings. But the thing is, these are not citizens of this country.
No.
These are criminals.
Nope. This is
here illegally. We don't need a hearing to send them back, but I don't know why they sent them directly to a prison. I don't know how you determine that.
And that's where you wash your hands up and you're like, well, I guess that's between Venezuela and El Salvador now.
Yes, exactly.
It's an NMP.
That's
not my problem.
Kind of where I'm at on that whole situation.
Yeah,
you work it out.
I'm just trying to figure out how they make that determination. Like how, I want to know because the answers I'm getting from administration officials they're not satisfactory. They're going through social media looking at pictures of tattoos that sometimes they apparently get wrong the interpretation of. I don't know, just like to know.
There's got to be more to it than that.
Gotta be, right?
There's got to be.
Now somebody this morning, a pathead, we were chatting back and forth on Twitter, and one of them said they didn't have a criminal record in this country. Oh, well then fine, just get out. Now it's totally between Venezuela and El Salvador. Because El Salvador, apparently, according to him, said that they were wanted in El Salvador for committing crimes in that country. Oh, great. Then you guys deal with it. Not our problem. Just get out of our country. Yeah, I want everybody that's here illegally, I want out of this country.
What they keep trying to do, though, to rile up Americans is to say that they're deporting these people without any good reason. It's unconstitutional. This is like the Nazis did in Germany. No, the Nazis in Germany were putting their own citizens on trains and sending them to prison camps, to concentration camps. These are not citizens of the country. They didn't come here legally. They don't belong here. They can be removed. And so we're removing them. Now, sending them directly to a prison, I don't know about that part. That's all
I'm trying
above
to
my
figure
pay
out.
grade.
I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the difference between getting someone who's in here illegally and just getting them out of the country and sending them to this supermax that they'll never see the light of day.
Something on these guys, right? They got to have.
Well,
I don't know.
I'd like to see that.
But again, that's El Salvador's problem. That's Venezuela's problem. I'll let you work that out. The fact that they were here illegally, it was enough for me to say, yep, deport them. That's fine.
100%. I mean, there's no debating that one.
Not at all. But yeah, you can look at the fact that they went directly to a supermax prison and say, okay, did they even get a hearing at all? Or did they do anything to warrant that other than sneak into our country illegally? Meanwhile, Massachusetts just released illegal aliens with child rape charges back onto the streets. Just set bail amounts as low as $500. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, she is the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu, seems to be doing this just to spite Trump now. I mean, this is dangerous, irresponsible, hideous action According to an ICE press release, Boston police freed one individual and others were released from jails or courts. And at least several of them were charged with raping children. One was charged with 3 counts of forcible rape of a child, 3 counts of aggravated rape of a child. ICE arrested him in February after a court ignored the agency's detainer request, releasing him on pretrial conditions back in October of 2022. He posted a $7,500 bail with an order to remain at home, and now I'm sure they have no idea where he is. He posed a significant danger to the children of Massachusetts, and we will not tolerate such a threat to our community, according to ICE officials, and yet Boston feels otherwise, so they're just doing what they want to do. They're just fighting against the administration just because. Even to the detriment of their own citizens. All right, let me tell you about one of the better things in life. This is some positive news. You can get delicious steak that's grown right here in the great state of Texas. I love it. I've grilled these up many, many times, and delicious filet, delicious ribeyes. So tender. Really nicely marbled. This is from a 5th generation ranch, and they raise these cattle the right way. You can bring premium Texas beef to your table because these are top-tier cuts of meat, hand-packed and delivered directly to you. USDA prime and choice beef with high-end Black Angus genetics that ensures that every single bite is going to be absolutely consistently delicious. There's no grass-fed gimmicks here, just premium, flavorful beef that's been raised the right way, balanced for tenderness and marbling, and so that means the cattle are pasture-raised and grain-finished by Texans who care about the quality of their product. I get hungry just talking about it. Go to trybeef.com/PatGray, and you'll get free steak tips on orders over $249.99. That's TRY. Trybeef.com/PatGray, and you'll get those free steak tips on orders over $249.99.
Now, more Pat Gray Unleashed.
Here's those wonderful people being taken into the prison in El Salvador.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Busload after busload of them.
Welcome to your new home.
Oh, see, they're bending them over like that. That's not nice. They're being mean. That's just mean. Why do you have to push their neck down? Why? And shave them.
Why do you have to shave them?
Because you got no identity anymore.
Off goes their hair.
You are ours.
No beard, no hair.
I think he said, I love it here at the Holiday Inn.
Nailed it.
Is that what he said?
Something. I mean, roughly.
Am I going to get the 5-star sheets in my betting?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what they're looking forward to.
What's the thread count?
1,500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 1,500 thread count. Really nice. Really nice sheets.
Yeah, and yesterday, right, Trump said that since we know that Venezuela was intentionally sending their worst into our country with the help of Joe Biden and his terrible Marxists, if you're doing business with Venezuela, then we're going to add a 25% tariff to any business you do with us.
Yep.
So, I think tariffs may be the salve for every wound. Like, just threaten every country. Look, if you don't do what we want, I mean,
here's another 15% and another 20%.
And if you talk back, we're going to put another 10%.
Okay, that's it right there. Another 50% tariff on you. Might be effective.
If you talk publicly, if you tweet about this, about how mean we are,
100% tariff.
100% tariff.
Yeah. Secretary Rubio had an update on Ukraine and Russia. We're getting together with them, hopefully, and talking peace. Here's what he had to say about what's going on.
Yeah, Mr. President, first of all, I think the American people should be proud that we have a president that's promoting peace and the end of conflict on this planet. This is a war that's gone on for 3 years, as you pointed out, that, as you've rightly pointed out, would have never happened had you been president, but now it's here, and it needs to be brought to an end. There is no military solution to this war. It has to end through negotiation. And there's only one leader in the world that's capable of bringing the two sides to a table, and that's our president, the president of the United States, President Trump. And that's what he's done. And so today, even as we speak, we have teams on the ground in Saudi Arabia, meeting with the respective sides in the hopes of making progress towards this outcome that we all want to see. And I think that the country owes you a great debt of gratitude, and the world, really, because, I mean, you're the only leader in the planet that can bring the two sides together to bring an end to this conflict, and that's what you've done, and you've done it despite
who disagrees with that?
Impediments from other countries and others who maybe have different opinions about how this should go. But ultimately, I think that the only chance we have for peace is through the president's leadership, and you've shown that, and we hope it'll bear fruit, and today will hopefully be one step more in that direction.
I mean, Biden didn't even try. He didn't even put in the effort.
No.
He just refused to talk to Putin or about Putin.
It's because he had the cash cow going through Ukraine.
Yeah. Yes.
They didn't want peace over there.
This was benefiting him and his family greatly. You know it was.
I heard this morning, within days, we're going to sign that rare earth minerals deal with Ukraine. I've heard that one before. Let's go.
Yeah.
I want that done. I don't trust Zelensky. Is
he coming back to do that, or is he just going to sign it?
I don't know. That I don't know. I know that the
going to be one of those
peace talks are in Saudi Arabia this week, but
it's a Zoom call. It's a
it's a Zoom call.
Zoom sign.
Okay, he'll sign online.
Sign it, Vlad. Don't make me come over there.
I just get it done. Just get it done. That's all. Vice President Vance talked about the rekindling of the Abraham Accords.
If you think about what happened with the Abraham Accords, one of the great diplomatic breakthroughs under the first Trump administration, really in the last 30 or 40 years of American history in the Middle East, and the Biden administration did absolutely nothing with it. Built on it, not at all, added 0 additional countries. Purely out of political spite, the Biden administration, I think, hurt the United States and really hurt the project of world peace. That has changed. Luckily, about 2 months ago, we got a new president. And that president has given us the task of building out the Abraham Accords, adding new countries to it. And really what you see is a lot of these countries that have historical, ethnic, or religious hatreds want to build. They want to build new artificial intelligence. They want to build new real estate projects. They want their citizens to become rich and prosperous and peaceful. And they're setting to the side some of those old hatreds under the leadership of President Trump. So it's early, but we made a lot of progress, and we'll keep on making progress, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds hopeful.
Yeah.
Then Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins spoke out.
Let me just add to that, and thank you. We just had a wonderful cabinet meeting, all aligned on certainly the effort to realign the government. But even at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, we've canceled a $300,000 contract educating on food justice for queer and transgender farmers in San Francisco. A similar contract we canceled in New York, again educating transgender and queer farmers on food justice and food equality.
Pause it for a second.
I'm not even sure.
How many queer farmers are we talking about here?
Well, the first one she mentioned was San Francisco. So
okay, all right,
that's going to be a high number.
And how do you qualify as queer? Is that the same as homosexual? Is it the same as gay or lesbian?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. That's
yes.
But does it include trans?
Chris, quick
too?
for the definition there.
Is queer just a catch-all for
trans?
No. Okay.
No.
So what's the difference between queer and gay? Why do we have the Q in there is what I'm trying to get to the bottom of here.
I think they're trying to take that word back because people were using it as a bad word. Oh, you're queer.
Right.
I think it's just...
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
No.
Did she say it was the Queer and Trans Farmers Coalition? Is that what it was?
The Queer and Trans Farmers Coalition. There is one?
Oh, there is now.
I want to know how many queer and trans farmers there actually are to form a coalition.
Again, if it's in San Francisco, I think you're just.
And if I'm getting free money from the government, I am a queer, whatever the heck that is.
Well, you got chickens.
You're part of the problem,
queer farmer today.
You definitely qualify as a farmer. We just have to do the queer part now, and then you're part of the coalition.
Done.
That's great. All right.
Oh no.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Some tweets here. Nancy's vodka-soaked dentures. Come on, Keith. It was Holiday Inn Express. I'm not a member of an international criminal organization, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Should be their next commercial.
Right? Gender face. Pat, you should send a big box of Kexi cookies to Donald and Melania at the White House. He may sponsor them by eating them on camera and saying thank you. You might end up a multi-million-dollar company overnight. That would be cool. That would be. It's worth a try.
Do it.
Secret Service would probably intercept it, though, and then they'd taste test it to make sure it's not poisoned and wind up eating the whole box, I'm sure. On the DOGE front, more fraud and waste continues to be uncovered. What a surprise. No, there's more than what we've already heard of? Huh. That's hard to believe. We talked about some of it, but Jesse Waters had a nice summary of some of the most absurd stuff the other night on his program.
This is what Democrats are fighting to save. $20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street.
Yeah.
$2 million for Moroccan pottery classes.
Wait, what?
Oh.
$11 million to tell Vietnam to stop burning trash. $27 million to give gift
Well, you don't want
back-
us to just tell them to stop burning trash, do you? That costs a lot of money. You got to fly over there. You have to stay at a nice resort for 3 years. I mean, how do you spend $11 million on that?
Obviously,
that's incredible.
It's just like with everything our government spends money on.
Sure is.
It's just lining someone's pockets.
All right, let's hear the rest.
Give gift bags to illegals before we deport them. Millions to help Afghanis grow crops instead of opium. That program was such a success that opium production doubled.
Oh, my gosh.
We also gave Afghanistan $300 million to build diesel fuel power plants. But they couldn't use them because diesel was too expensive. $200 million on a dam that was too unsafe to ever be used. We could have used that dam in California. $250 million on a road that was never used. We literally built a road to nowhere. Oh, and we gave Syrians $9 million for humanitarian aid. But someone messed up and it went to Al-Qaeda. $1 million for bat research in Wuhan.
Well, that's
that
important.
Equates to $1 million.
I mean, you're trying to stop the next big COVID pandemic because it was the bats who spread it in the first place. If you remember, the bat soup, right, from the marketplace.
I remember pangolins getting a bad name.
Pangolins, bats. I mean, I don't know. You can't even do it sarcastically anymore, right? It's just so maddening.
Yeah.
It's just so insane.
Yeah.
And there's more. There's more.
$1 million for bat research in Wuhan.
Okay.
That equates to $1 million for each dead American. USAID was funding Fashion Week in Paris.
And
France isn't even paying its NATO dues, and we're paying for their Fashion Week. USAID's a $40 billion deep state social justice slush fund.
Yeah. Well
said. So, yep. Deep state CIA slush fund. And here's the thing. Even the people that we're donating the money to know the scam. We talked about the African official yesterday. She was onto it. She's like, that's for regime change. They're trying to overthrow governments with that money. It's not a humanitarian organization.
Terrible, man.
It is. And they're in on the scam. The people we're scamming know the scam. It's pretty bad.
And then you stop and you go, wait a minute. We paid for that. I mean, you went to work and you were earning a living to fund regime change and pottery classes in Morocco. Apparently, that's a new one for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew the Moroccan thing either.
But in hindsight, it really shows because there was right after 9/11 and the U.S. going into Afghanistan. I remember Bill O'Reilly on all the time saying, "Why haven't we gotten rid of their poppy fields?" That was a constant thing in the months after we started the invasion there. Well, then.
Yeah, couldn't you just burn the poppy fields? Why couldn't you just firebomb them?
Well, if you wanted
and
to
I think
win,
we started to do that, didn't we?
But if you want a perpetual war, then
you don't do that.
Allow for the funding to continue.
Right. It can't be that hard to destroy the poppy fields. That cannot be a difficult task. I don't know. You're not going to get every single. I mean, they might be growing it in their backyard, but you're not going to have the massive crop that they have at this particular time when you destroy it all. But I guess we can't do that for some reason. Jasmine Crockett discussed Senator Ted Cruz. This is fun because Jasmine's always quite brilliant.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Frankly.
I mean, she's a Democrat. She's inclusive. She's peaceful. She's tolerant. And here she is being all of those things. So many more.
I think that you punch. I think you punch.
You punch.
I think you're okay with you okay with punching.
Oh.
I think and I love Colin, and I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But it's Ted Cruz. I mean, this dude has to be knocked over the head hard, right? There is no niceties with him.
Wow.
At all. You go clean off on him, right?
I don't know.
Wow.
She's fun.
Is that the word you would use?
I really dislike that woman.
Oh my gosh. She's really become maybe the worst of them all. I mean, she's even surpassed Ilhan Omar, I think. And the whole squad. Is she part of the squad now? Has she joined them? She would be a perfect member of the Jihad squad. Wow.
Jihad squad. That's them.
And I guess it's perfectly fine to spew violent rhetoric now for Democrats as long as it's against either Elon Musk or any Republican that you don't like. Then you can talk about being violent with people. I mean, if that was a Republican talking about a Democrat,
front page news.
Yep. For a week, for 2 weeks. We'd never hear the end of it. We still hear about that stupid Target thing. Sarah Palin's line from targeting a district for re-election. I mean, we heard about that endlessly. The violent rhetoric of the right, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Wow. Hard to believe. We also have ourselves a new Jussie Smollett. This is fun. We got... there's been so many of these hoaxes. I don't know why anybody even mentions them anymore because they're almost every single time you see a noose or whatever it is, it's a hoax. In Allentown, Pennsylvania, employee LaTarsha Brown was charged after placing a noose at her own desk to stage a hate crime.
So somebody...
There she is.
Yeah.
Okay. So about 2 months ago, Brown reported finding a noose at her desk at City Hall. Police requested DNA samples of people who were working in the office at the time of the incident.
So they're investigating.
Smart, right?
Okay, yeah.
Police requested DNA samples, and according to Captain Steve Milkovitz, every employee at the office agreed, with one exception.
What's that?
Brown herself. She wasn't forthcoming with her DNA. And then she asked them that they stop the investigation.
Wait, why? I thought we wanted to find who the real killer was.
Right. We want to get to the bottom of this horrible racist who left a noose on your desk.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, that happens so often, right? And we just were tired of it.
Yeah.
So we want to root out that kind of racism.
Mm-hmm.
The Pennsylvania State Police Forensic DNA Division later released a report revealing that the DNA on the noose matched Brown's DNA. Surprise!
What's her desk?
She worked for the city's Community and Economic Development Department. Now she faces misdemeanor charges, including making false reports and fabricating physical evidence. Now, what is the point of all of this? These people need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Because what are you going after? Race riots? Race war?
Oh, yeah.
Further division in the country? I don't know, a lawsuit? You're looking for money? Whatever it is. This is a heinous crime that needs to be stopped.
So they didn't find a couple of guys roaming around the office wearing MAGA hats or something?
No, they did
this
not.
This is MAGA country?
No, they didn't.
Did she have a Subway sandwich with her?
Apparently not.
What's her title again? What's her...
They just said employee.
No, she's got this ridiculous job title.
Oh.
LaTarsha. It was in the thing you read there. LaTarsha. What is this? Community. What's her stupid title? I mean, that's the problem. You're making up
Let me see.
Stupid positions to begin with.
Yeah.
And so you're attracting the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
Have no business being an executive. What is it?
Finding she faces. I don't really? See her title here.
All right, maybe I read something else there, but it was the stupidest. Like, yeah, I'll find it. Not that important.
But I mean, every time, because people just don't act like this in real life. They just, I mean, if it was, I don't know, 1937. Maybe you'd think, okay, yeah, that might be legitimate. But it seems like we've come, as much as people don't want to admit it on the left, we've come a long way since then. And we don't, as a rule, do those things anymore in society. There's very few burning crosses on people's yards. There's very few nooses being placed on black people's desks, unless it's by that black person themselves. Because time after time after time after time, we've seen it. And yet, it caused the activists in town, in Allentown, Pennsylvania, they were all up in arms.
Right.
People were going, they were incensed. They were going off in the streets. And, you know, the whole thing started all over again. Why don't you wait and see if this is a hoax? From now on, maybe you should just, I don't know, hold off a little bit. Because almost every single time, it's been a hoax.
Wow, she is so she works in the Department of Community and Economic Development. All right, so that sounds like a joke to begin with. But she's on the Allentown School Board as well.
Wow.
Okay.
Isn't that great?
And like you said, and like you always say, part of the Pat Gray Jihad, let's make sure that the penalties are harsh. Let's make sure that if you're gonna lie to police, file a police report, try to stir up racial tension, then the full power of the law needs to come down on you.
Yes.
It's got to stop.
Yes.
Somebody's
really
gonna get
hard.
killed, and people have gotten killed over stuff like this.
Yep. What's it going to take? Is it going to take people to be killed before we finally crack down on this kind of stuff? All right. I got something you need to hear about. This is bold, it's real, and it cuts through the mainstream noise like a hot knife through butter. It's called, I'm always confused. Is the knife hot or is the butter hot?
Both.
Both? Okay, so this cuts like a hot knife through hot butter.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to update that phrase. That's a good point, Pat.
Yeah, I think so too. But the Blaze Media and Frontier Magazine is back with issue 2. If you missed the first one, hate to say it, but you missed out on something huge. But here's the really good news. This new issue, it's even bigger, even bolder, and it's packed with stories you won't find anywhere else. And let me be clear. This isn't just some run-of-the-mill magazine. Frontier is a movement. It's about truth. It's about legacy. It's about the stories that actually matter. And in issue 2, we're taking things to a whole new level. Listen carefully, because this is huge. You can't buy Frontier anywhere, not in stores, not online. The only way to get it is through Blaze Unlimited. Let me tell you, Blaze Unlimited is so much more than just a way to get Frontier. You also get early access to exclusive events and VIP opportunities, dedicated customer support and VIP treatment, exclusive members-only content, and a premium experience for those who demand more. This is how you get plugged in. This is how you go deeper. This is how you stand with us. Here's the thing. If you act right now, the first 500 people who subscribe get both issue 1, if you missed it, and issue 2. So you get the full Frontier experience from the very beginning. Go to blazeunlimited.com/Pat right now. blazeunlimited.com/Pat. Use the promo code BLAZE500, and you'll get $40 off your subscription. It's not just about reading Frontier. It's about living it. So don't wait. Get in on this right now before it's too late. blazeunlimited.com/Pat.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
I am. It is. We're here. And this time, we're pissed. Well, we're pretty much pissed every time because There's just so much madness
less
going on.
Pissed than we were, say, 6 months ago.
That's for sure.
much less.
Yes, indeed. Because there's always that hope that, okay, but we're on the right track. We're trying to fix this stuff. But man, are the Democrats fighting hard against it. Wow, let me see if I can find that Axios article. Because it's pretty amazing, the intense hatred that the Democrats have, and yet the situation that they're in, because the people are all about what's going on. Most Americans love what's happening right now.
I just wish that Congress would make these executive orders
permanent
laws.
Yes, they need to. It all needs to be codified.
And call these judges to heel, too.
Yeah. Top Democrats from Axios tell us their party is in its deepest hole in nearly 50 years. And they fear things could actually get worse. Party has its lowest favorability ever. No popular national leader to help improve it. Insufficient numbers to stop most legislation in Congress. A durable minority on the Supreme Court. Dwindling influence over the media ecosystem with right-leaning podcasters and social media accounts ascendant. Young voters are growing dramatically more conservative. That's one of their biggest issues right now. Especially young men are turning conservative here. They have a bad 2026 map for Senate races. Things do not look good for them. They're going to lose Senate seats. Democrat Senate retirements could make it harder for the party to flip the House with members tempted by statewide races. There are only 3 House Republicans in districts former Vice President Harris won in 2024. That's a dim sign for a Democrat surge. There were 23 8 years ago in seats Hillary Clinton won. And thanks to the number of people fleeing blue states, the math, as Keith mentioned earlier, the math for a Democrat to win the presidency will just get worse in 2030. So not exactly a rosy picture for Democrats right now. And I say good.
Don't get cocky, though.
Yeah, right.
You gotta keep
Still
going.
A lot of work to do.
And there's so much time between now and November, and now and November 2028.
But there's hope.
I
mean, these are really positive signs.
Yes.
Good things are happening right now.
Yes.
So
but it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Exactly right. Exactly right. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Got some tweets here. The Sniper BBB tweets, in fairness, there's not a lot to do in Allentown, as we learned from the Billy Joel song.
Good stuff.
Tamara B, the people that used to burn crosses on your lawn burn Teslas now. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. In fact, East Texas Ryan, does everyone that owns a Volkswagen have to sell their vehicle because they were made by an actual Nazi company?
No kidding.
Great point.
Right. Jeez, man. Unbelievable. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Sure is.
And there's more reports nationwide about Teslas being vandalized and destroyed and owners being threatened. We rarely see the victims of these crimes. You know, behind the attack, who is the actual owner of that actual Tesla?
Yeah.
And what does it mean to them? That Olive Garden in Kansas where the guy keyed the Tesla. Here's the victim's story from that incident.
Damaging a personal vehicle does not affect Elon. If anything, it's giving him more money to fix the vehicle that you damaged. It's not damaging who you're thinking it is.
Just before 6 p.m. on Thursday, Abigail Gill and her family were seated for dinner at Olive Garden. Over an hour later, they left, and what they found waiting for them was shocking.
Quite a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He keyed this side as well, which, as you can see, this side, it even looks like it affected above the tire. This is a lot more damage.
Jeez. This comes less than a week after a possible arson at a Tesla dealership in Kansas City. Gill believes her brand new Tesla was targeted because of the current political climate and perception of Tesla CEO Elon Musk.
But it felt really disappointing that this is happening in such a great country, a great state. So for this to be happening in Kansas, of all places, is super shocking.
She says her family has had discussions around if it's even safe to be driving a Tesla anymore, in part because of incidents like hers.
Terrorism.
If she could send a message to the man who keyed her car, it's this.
You have put a very big crisis on me because physically I am in a wheelchair. I just hope that he definitely gets the correct punishment. I hope he pays all of the damages. It is well over $1,000, possibly over $10,000 of damage.
Yeah,
I hope that the workshop police continue to find him.
I mean, any kind of mark is $1,000, let alone keyed up both sides of the vehicle. Come on.
Estimates up to 10,000.
Yeah, easily, I bet.
Now, President Trump has suggested maybe you send the Tesla terrorists to that El Salvador prison. No. I don't know. I mean, it's worth.
Did he actually suggest that?
Yeah,
I didn't
we
hear
need to
that.
at least discuss
That's
this.
good.
We can at least have a conversation about it, right?
Well, they're terrorists.
Right.
Gitmo Bay, you send them to Guantanamo or the El Salvadoran prison?
Seriously, though, I mean, everyone
they get a
should
nice shave out of it, though, for free.
Everyone should be upset about this.
They should.
Just on its surface, just for what's happening.
Yep.
But also take a step back and think, I mean, insurance rates are about to go higher because of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to end up paying for this because insurance companies are footing the bill for repairing these damages.
Chris, you've been talking about buying a Tesla. Is any of this
This is why I want to buy. This is why I want to buy a Tesla. I don't want to let. I've been talking to Stu. I was like, I don't want to let terrorists win.
Right.
I'm going to buy a Tesla.
I mean, it's what is the thought process? This is going to show Elon Musk. No, it shows the owner of the Tesla. It shows them that they're now in debt. They're going to have to get their car fixed. Their insurance rates are going to go up. Our insurance rates are going to go up. I mean, how do you think that's affecting Elon Musk? It's not. He already sold the car.
Well, they think that if they can scare enough people to stop buying Teslas, then you destroy the company that way.
BS.
And Tesla is closing at an amazing pace when it comes to the stock market. So it's no longer at 235 what Timmy Waltz was talking about. I think it was like 255, 245.
Oh, so it's gone back up
It's
now?
gone back up because people are buying Teslas.
Wow, that's great.
And by the way, you key my car, it's not going to make me join your cause. It's actually going to upset me even more.
Yeah. Oh, no question. Yeah. All right. Let me tell you about something called KFC cookies. This is the last week at KFC to order the Irish cream brownie and the mint chocolate cookie. They're so delicious. You will not be disappointed in them. So good. And pretty soon we've got our Easter flavors and our spring flavors coming up just around the corner. So last week for the Irish cream brownie and the mint chocolate cookie, here's what Chuck said, one of our customers. These cookies are amazing. When I saw a dozen for $55, I was skeptical. Yeah. Then I received and picked up the box. The weight was undeniable. These things are huge, sweet, and delightful. If anyone is reading this, and I am, Chuck, so thank you. Trust me, order a dozen. Get one of each as I did, and I did not have one that I wouldn't reorder. Every damn one was fantastic. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. Yes, don't take our word for it. Try them for yourself. Go to KFC.com and order a dozen or 2 or 12 today. Plus, you'll be supporting a small business in the United States of America. KFC cookies. That's KFC.com. KEKSI.com. KFC.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
The Colorado legislature is always an entertaining place.
It really is.
Here's how one lawmaker spends her time while debate is taking place.
Oh. Look at that. She's got an app and she's painting.
Of this section.
See that? She's painting her little kid's little coloring book on her tablet.
Oh, man.
Watch this. And she moves those colors fast, too, at the bottom.
Yeah, she's good at it.
Watch this.
Okay.
There you go.
Nope. Okay.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
She knows what she's looking for. She's going to go get it. She knows what color she wants that to be. She doesn't have to carefully scroll. She knows right where it is. She's going for it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Colorado. So that was one state rep in Colorado. Now, this next clip is just so weird. It's just weird. Look, at some point, if you're gay, I assume that you have that realization, oh, look, I guess I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
Take that one out of context. So anyway, when this state rep, when he discovered that he was gay, it's just a very strange moment, I think. I don't know. Whatever.
All right.
But I think about that when I think about somebody in their own instance, because I didn't really fully, on my own accord, come to terms with being gay until I was at a funeral of a friend. And there was a little boy in the crowd who was clearly the gayest little thing I had ever seen. And I burst out in tears because at that moment, it was the first time that I actually was completely and utterly clear that child was just a child with innocence. And it was obvious to me that he wasn't choosing a damn thing.
Okay. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. That's when state rep, what's his name?
That's when he realized he was gay. When he realized a little kid was gay. Yeah. Then he became gay as well.
'Cause he's the gay, what was the quote? The gayest little thing
he'd ever seen. Yeah, I guess. Okay. That's
okay. Well,
that's interesting.
Yep. It's an interesting time to come to that conclusion about yourself, sir.
Isn't it, though? So, obviously, the point is there that he was born that way, right? He didn't choose anything. So, okay. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for that. And how does that affect his legislating powers? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that why he's in office? Because he's gay? I don't know. Okay. Jeez.
Colorado. You guys are awesome.
You know what? I mean, a Western state like that used to be conservative, but got invaded by Californians and just tipped the other way really far. That happened not just to Colorado, but Washington, Oregon, all through the West. It's just really sad.
Yeah, and that's the thing about, we were talking about electoral votes earlier and representation and blue states, people fleeing there. They have to go somewhere. These crazy leftist vote. Now, the case can be made that hopefully the wise ones, the conservative voters are the ones fleeing these blue states and therefore buttressing and inflating the numbers of red state representation. That's what you hope.
That is what
you hope. It's not the blue idiots that are going and infecting places like, I don't know, Texas.
Yeah, that'd be bad. Yeah. Although we know there is some of that going on. I don't know why you move here and then you want to change it to what you left. What you just fled, now you want it to be that? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
All right, what is this creepy KFC commercial? I have not seen this
Has anyone
yet.
seen this? Chris, have you seen this?
I don't know.
Okay, no, you would know.
Okay, then no.
Okay, so this is a 2-minute long commercial. I don't know if you want to do this now after the break, but this is making the rounds here, and it's a KFC commercial, and just see if it makes you want to eat some KFC.
Okay.
Okay. Hide your kids from this commercial. You've been warned. There's a big chicken in the woods and doing a staring contest. I don't know where this chick came from. Got a vest now or something.
That fell out of the sky.
Fell out of the sky. Oh, wait. Now we got a lot of people coming down out of trees and whatnot.
Okay.
And the music's getting real creepy, and we're getting some, chanting happening and very, very cultish behavior. Oh, whoa, what?
Oh, and now they rise up out of the middle of them.
Of course. Okay, now everybody's scattering.
What is the deal?
KFC.
Okay. Oh, now they've got a giant egg?
Okay. Yeah, it's a giant egg. See? Now they're carrying the giant golden egg.
And they keep dropping it.
Feels like a demonic ritual happening, but maybe that's just me.
And so far, it makes no sense at all. Especially for a chicken ad. Okay. Now they're staring off in the distance.
That's gravy. That's a big pile of gravy. Oh, wait. Now she's carrying him out into the gravy. Okay.
So it's like a lake of gravy.
It's a lake of gravy. Of course. I mean, you act like you've never seen a lake of gravy
gravy
before.
lake. And she's going to drop the first guy in the lake of gravy?
I guess. I don't know what's happening. Let's find out. Oh, she's dipping him into the gravy.
Okay.
Now, he's clearly struggling, as you see him breathing under the gravy.
Yeah.
And now he's chicken. What the hell did we just watch?
Believe in chicken.
Yeah.
What? KFC.
I will personally never be eating KFC.
That's fantastic.
Ever again.
What was that?
I don't know if they're cannibal. I don't know. Like, are they saying that our meat is human? Not I don't know the messaging here.
How would that make you want to eat chicken?
I don't know.
Okay, I guess
you dipped a human being in gravy, and he became a piece of fried chicken.
This is the British KFC.
Don't get it.
For what it's worth.
Wow, is that weird?
That was pretty cool.
Cool.
That was really cool.
It was creepy. It was
this guy has
bizarre.
We're talking to a guy who runs a chicken army.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That was
wow. That's one of the weirdest. I mean, I always think the Calvin Klein ads are kind of stupid and weird, and the Chanel and almost all perfume ads are bizarre. The one that Johnny Depp is in, I mean, it's just weird. That is maybe the king of weird. That was.
I'll give you that. It is weird.
Does it make you want to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Not in the least.
Chris?
Oh, heck yes.
Oh, yeah?
Gosh,
okay.
Weird.
All right.
With that beat alone, that was a good beat.
All right, I'll give you the beat. But I'm not giving you anything else. Okay? That was insane. That was evil. That was demonic,
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, yeah.
And
it was very cult-like.
So am I eating human flesh? What is that?
And what was the egg for?
Golden egg. You know, you have to have an idol. They're going to worship the chicken.
They're not even hiding that anymore.
No, it's just
they're evil.
Freaky. Ick.
And I did. And was he baptizing the guy in gravy?
Oh, okay.
Is that what we're doing?
That's what I got out of it. So once you get baptized in gravy, you become a chicken leg.
You transform into a chicken.
Who makes
a
chicken leg? Chicken leg.
I gotta know, like, I gotta know the thinking process for the ad agency.
I would love to know. Yeah.
Tell you what, let's do this.
Hey,
giant chicken.
I've got a really avant-garde idea. I think you're gonna love it. No.
So is it fair to say that it's people?
Yeah. Oh yes.
KFC.
It's people.
It's people.
So it's like Soylent Green?
Right, that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah.
It's people.
It's people. KFC is made out of people.
Soylent Green is made out of people. Soylent Green is people!
KFC is people.
Wow.
Well, there you go. That's the UK version of KFC.
In Europe, they do things really differently. In Europe, they have avant-garde commercials. People understand them. In Europe,
it's over our heads.
Yeah,
because we're just dumb
stupid
Americans.
Yeah, we're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we're so butt stupid. We can't see the point of that.
You look like an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh, that's rough.
Whew. Let me tell you about preborn. When a woman experiences an unplanned pregnancy, she, a lot of times, just feels alone and afraid. So many times, her first response is to seek out an abortion. But because of the generosity of listeners like you, that search may lead her to a preborn network clinic where she'll choose life, not just for her baby, but for herself. Preborn offers God's love and compassion to hurting women, and then they provide a free ultrasound to introduce them to the life growing inside them. That combination brings the ultimate miracle of life to life, which is why Preborn sees an average 200 babies saved every single day. You can meet some of the courageous women who choose life. When Paige found out she was pregnant, she didn't feel she could afford a child. The father threatened to make her have an abortion. But when her mother found out, she introduced her to a preborn clinic. At the clinic, Maddie was given the support and resources she needed to help her choose life. And the father even started attending parenting classes with her. Now, they're raising a beautiful son together. Last year alone, preborn saw 67,000 babies saved from abortion. So if you have the means, please consider a leadership gift to save babies in a big way. Your tax-deductible donation of $5,000 would sponsor Preborn's entire network for 24 hours, helping to rescue 200 babies. To donate, dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray will return after this.
We're coming up on the 5-year anniversary already of the mandates to close things down and to, if you want to keep your job, you have to get the vaccination and all the consensus on the scientific information. That's great. So as we approach that, it brings to mind another anniversary of scientific consensus, the eugenics movement from a century ago. In both cases, doctors and scientists joined with state authorities to control the most private and personal elements of people's lives. And in both cases, resistance came from people of faith. At their best, scientists have brought medical breakthroughs and technological innovations that have given us healthier, more productive, and more prosperous lives. But the scientific community has shown itself time and again to have a bit of a dark side as well. Tendency toward fads and politicization, an instinct for crushing dissent, and a penchant for social engineering and societal control. America's scientists and academics coalesced around eugenics in the early 20th century, amidst the rise of progressive ideology in government and academia. Eugenics, which is derived from the Greek eugenes, was the belief that bad genes should be removed from society for the benefit of the human race. You know who led that charge? Harvard University, as described in a 2016 report by Harvard Magazine. Harvard administrators, faculty members, and alumni were at the forefront of American eugenics, founding eugenics organizations, writing academic and popular eugenics articles, and lobbying government to enact eugenics laws. God. And for many years, scarcely any significant Harvard voices, if any at all, were raised against it. Eugenics attracted considerable support from progressives, reformers, and educated elites as a way of using science to make a better world. How beautiful. So just a little reminder about scientific consensus.
Right, yeah.
It was not good during the eugenic phase in American history. It was not good during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's not good with the global warming nonsense. Oh, it's scientific. It's consensus. We got scientific consensus. And it's not even real when it comes to the Big Bang Theory that everybody accepted. Oh, we absolutely came from the Big Bang. There was just an explosion, and the universe spread out, and gas and elements started to come together under pressure and heat and gravity, and then everything was formed. And it just so happened to spin into place on this planet at exactly the right distance from the sun.
That was convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. With exactly the right elements for life to come together. And it just so happened that we lucked out. And nobody else anywhere in the universe did. But we did. And now, all of a sudden, there's no scientific consensus on even the Big Bang anymore. Have you noticed that that most scientists are divorcing themselves from that theory?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they put the James Webb Telescope into space, and it's 1 million miles away, and it sees the universe differently because it does infrared, and so it can see things that the Hubble telescope can't.
Uh-huh.
And it is found that their theory of the universe just exploding into existence 14 billion years ago can't really be real because there was a whole bunch of galaxies that formed like right after the Big Bang, and that doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
They're too well formed,
Wow.
they're too organized, and they're
Okay.
too old to fit into the Big Bang theory.
Interesting.
Yeah, the whole thing is interesting.
Yeah.
And yet, every time they scream scientific consensus, we're supposed to fall in line and say, oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
all right, it's getting hot here, too, and that's because of humans, because we're bad.
And to your scientific consensus, and going back to the eugenics movement, I mean, next thing you know, you get people like Margaret Sanger trying to abort black babies, and then you have Adolf Hitler.
Right.
Copycatting America, which leads to the Holocaust. So anytime you hear of a scientific consensus, batten down the hatches, because you're about to lose a lot from your society.
You want to be leery of it. You want to be able to question it because they want you to just say, oh, okay, the scientists all believe this. Well, then I guess I better. Yeah, super dangerous. Really, really dangerous. And you're right. We didn't get the eugenics idea from Germany. They got it from us, from Margaret Sanger and others in Harvard. So pretty chilling on the consensus front. 888-900-3393. More coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
We have no stronger ally than the Netherlands. They consistently punch above their weight, but that's fairly typical of the way that Danes have punched above their weight. As I've said before, Ireland punches above its weight. Although the Philippines is not the largest of countries,
still
it
punches
using a phrase from boxing, punches above its weight. This nation of 1.3 million people, as we say, truly punches above its weight.
We do say that, yeah. But that's why I've mixed up the Dutch with the Danes from time to time, because they both punch above their weight.
Oh.
Yeah. To the extent that I always get confused as to which is which controlling Greenland. Because they both punch above their weight. They both start with D. So I don't know. It's confusing, but it's the Danes, right?
Yeah.
That punch above their weight and control Greenland. So,
like Jeffy says, plant a flag in it and say, "Come do something about it."
Yeah, right.
Let's see how much you're punching above your weight if we do that.
Danes, Dutch, come together and see if you can do anything about it. We don't care. We're going to plant our flag, and we're going to use our natural resources. So,
and we even spotted your national defense through how much we fund NATO.
Exactly.
So, wow, we're being generous.
Very. All right. I don't want to offend our scientifically minded friends about the Big Bang Theory, because so many believe that. And I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying there's a lot of discussion about it not being true. That's all I'm saying. I believe that, God created the universe. I just don't know the mechanism by which he did that. So I suppose it's possible that he just made that element explode and then it all spread out, and that's the creation process. I don't know. Or he may have done it through some other means. But it's interesting to me now that scientists are all befuddled about this. And
I thought
usually
the science was settled.
Yeah, right. The science was settled on that. Science was settled on eugenics. The science was settled on the vaccine and the mandates and all of that stuff. The science was settled on global warming. So, yeah, maybe not so much Science is continually learning and changing and refining the things that they believe and they know and that there's consensus about.
And that's the definition of science, right?
Exactly.
Testing a hypothesis, adapting to what you observe.
Mm-hmm. And it's part of the scientific process to question that.
Yes. Yep.
Instead, we're treated like we're mindless morons just because we ask questions about it and we doubt. We're skeptical of it. Jeez. When there's proof that the Earth is, especially on the global warming front, when this climate is cyclical and it goes through changes, and we know it's been hotter and it's been colder and it's, it's changed over and over and over and over again. The climate was so different that there were palm trees in the Arctic Circle many years ago. But if you claim that, oh my gosh, what's happening now is perfectly normal, then you're an idiot. Okay. All right. There's a guy in Australia who goes by the name Billboard Chris. He stands around with a sandwich board. That's got to be fun. Nothing I want to do more than stand around on a street corner with a sandwich board. But he makes his feelings known on gender ideology and how it's destroying children and families. So he's dedicated to a cause. It's really something. He was fined yesterday for standing around and talking to someone who approached him.
He doesn't bother anyone. He stands there. If you want to have a conversation, then you instigate it. Otherwise, he just stands there and hangs out. But nope.
So we've got the beginning of a conversation he had with his interaction with police.
Yeah.
And here it is.
This is yours. Here's your fine.
Okay.
For standing here.
Relevant legislation in which I've issued the ticket. Obstructing or unreasonably disturb any person lawfully using a mall.
Tear it up.
Okay, so I've been told that my prohibited activity is that I'm obstructing or unreasonably disturbing any person lawfully using a mall. Correct. I have absolutely done no such thing. I was standing quietly.
You should get a job and, move on with your life,
Get out of here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Example of I have not done this.
Users of the mall. This is because you're in this area.
So this guy that just came up to harass me, he's using that as an example of me obstructing people.
The next step from here is that we can issue an oral compliance direction.
Good gosh.
Which, under our local laws,
the West is
following.
following.
You have to cease the activity and possibly move on from the area.
Wow.
All right?
I'm not obstructing or unreasonably disturbing anyone.
All right.
Fight it in court, man. He's going to have to. But, the fine is probably not such that it's worth it.
Over $800.
800?
Yep.
Oh, maybe it is worth it. Of course, you'd spend more than that probably fighting it. But
I just think it's worth it just on principle alone.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I don't care if it's a site. I don't care if it's a warning.
Australia's in bad shape. Really, really bad shape.
That's interesting. They disarmed their populace, and then a generation later, they're telling them, you can't even stand
You can't
somewhere.
stand here. What's he obstructing? He's not obstructing. How? It's just so asinine. In Ireland, a teacher refuses to use a student's preferred pronouns.
This thing's out of control.
So the guy's bank took action against the teacher's bank account.
It reminds me of the Canadian truckers.
Okay.
For not taking the jab. All right.
My name is Enoch Burke, and I'm a teacher of German and history at Wilson's Hospital School in County Westmeath. I'm standing here today outside my local Bank of Ireland branch at Castlebar in County Mayo. This is my bank, and I've just attempted to withdraw funds from this bank account, but with no success. The account is frozen by order of Judge Nolan in the High Court. This was on foot of an application made by the Attorney General, Mr. Rossa Fanning, and accompanied also by lawyers for the Minister for Finance, Mr. Pascal Donoghue, and the Minister for Education, Miss Helen McEntee. And I have the bank card here in my hand, but I can't withdraw any money.
Wow.
And I want to make clear that I received no notice whatsoever of this. This is my bank account. It's where I received my salary over the last 7 years. Today is payday. It's a Thursday. And normally today I would receive my salary for the previous 2 weeks' work ending on Friday. But today I have received nothing. As well as my bank account being raided, I've also not received any salary. That sum has been withheld. Now I had over 40,000, just over 40,000 euro in this bank account. That's a lot of money for someone of my generation. You might save about €5,000 a year on a full-time salary.
Don't brag.
So this is the savings really of many years.
Yeah.
That is unreal. So, and that's all because he wouldn't use the correct pronouns?
Yeah, for a student in his care. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The West has fallen. Yeah, and
you can freeze somebody's bank account for that?
I guess so. So there you go, Australia and Ireland. Now, under this video, Jenna Ryan, who actually I think is in Dallas, she was a J6er who got arrested or in trouble for trespassing on January 6th. She commented, "This happened to me in 2024 with Bank of Texas. And I think it was because I donated to J6 charity to help prisoners pay commissary and light bills in churches. I was cut off with no explanation, left the lobby. They finally gave me a cashier's check. Then I had to scramble in fear to find a bank to accept me." Anyway, I mean, this is
wow,
everywhere.
Good gosh.
It's just
incredible.
It's tragic, man. And I hope this guy gets his money.
Incredible. Yeah. You know, this is what's happening, though. Not just Australia, not just Ireland, and not just that one instance in the United States. I mean, the Biden administration was censoring speech in this country their entire administration. And so now there's a key Senate hearing to examine, it's happening today, to examine the Biden administration's work with outside entities to censor Americans. The chairman of this committee is Eric Schmidt from Missouri. And he said that the president had a sprawling network of federal agencies and NGOs, non-governmental organizations, used to limit speech and posts that were disfavored by the administration. He said the Biden administration created a vast censorship enterprise comprised of a sprawling network of federal agencies and NGOs that have been working overtime to censor American speech. From special reporting portals to the White House press secretary admitting at the podium that they were flagging posts to be taken down. The level of coordination to subvert the First Amendment and remove disfavored speech was beyond what most even imagined. Wow. So it's not like, okay, well, in Europe, that's happening in Europe, or in Australia. No, it's here as well.
I remember when KJP made that admission at the podium. It was shocking
too,
because she referenced right there in the White House that they had it set up where they were communicating behind the scenes with entities like Facebook and Twitter. Take this down. Take this down. Disinformation, misinformation.
Right,
No.
and they usually did. In fact, on almost every case, Facebook and everybody and Twitter before Elon Musk went ahead and did it. So that's why it was so important that Elon bought X, Twitter at the time. Amazing. Jeez. All right. Can we talk for a second about emergency preparedness? It's really important. We live in a world that's constantly changing, and sometimes we don't see what's coming. But one thing that will always remain the same is the need to be ready right now. Some emergency preparedness vitals include emergency contacts, a plan for evacuation routes, meeting places, and maybe a getaway bag with important documents and flashlights and batteries, non-perishable food, those kinds of things. But you should also really consider having a Jace case as part of your emergency preparedness. I can't recommend these highly enough. They're so fantastic. Comes with 5 antibiotics in it. You just go online, fill out a simple form. They make sure that you're not allergic to any of this. And then you get these delivered to you. You can get some add-ons, too, if you want, like ivermectin, which is really hard to get because a lot of people think it's horse paste. You're having horse paste? No. I mean, now, years later, they're admitting, yeah, it was really effective. Yeah, that really helped. Maybe we should have allowed people to use that. It's agonizing. Anyway, go to jace.com, enter their giveaway, and purchase your own case. Enter the promo code PAT at checkout. You'll get a discount on your order. That's promo code PAT at jace.com.
Yes. Pat Gray continues.
Yes. Meanwhile, News Nation reported on a plan that China seems to be implementing here in America.
Terrifying.
But you don't know about this. Check this one out.
The Chinese have a new way of creating U.S. citizens for their intelligence services and their military. It's dangerous. Chinese couples are hiring American surrogates and having them give birth to their kids in America.
Okay.
Then the Chinese couple comes over after the birth and takes the kid back to China with a U.S. passport. In the 2000s, everybody talked about pregnant women coming to America on tourist visas and then giving birth in the United States to a child with automatic American citizenship. It was called birth tourism. Now the Chinese families are taking it a step further.
Okay.
In the words of Brian Entin, renting a womb. News Nation senior correspondent Brian Entin is with us now for his exclusive reporting.
Unreal.
Brian, is this a one-off thing or is this actually happening at scale?
No, it's happened tens of thousands of times across the United States. We learned when we went out to California, Leland. We went out to look into the birth tourism scheme because there's been a lot of recent busts involving the feds, even though it's been going on for a long time. And they've sort of got that under control, and it's against the law because these women overstay their visas. They come on a tourist visa, they stay, they have the baby, and then they go back to China. But while we were in California, we learned about this new rent-a-womb scheme, which is almost more alarming because it is not illegal. It's a loophole. This is actually one of the motels that we went into where some of the pregnant women stay. And basically with the rent-a-wombs, you've got these parents in China who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's happening thousands of times, and they pay a woman in America that has the sperm and the egg from China inside of them. They use the American womb. The American woman gives birth to the Chinese baby, and then the baby gets the U.S. passport, but immediately goes back to China with no allegiance whatsoever to America, but is an American citizen.
Okay.
I spoke to the acting U.S. attorney in Los Angeles about this. They are very alarmed. Listen to this, Leland. What happens in 20 years? Is there any concern that they could become spies, that the Chinese government could use them somehow because they'll have the American passport?
Anytime that somebody has a U.S. passport, it means that they have access to the United States. They will give you the example. Child born in Irvine in 2015 goes back and ultimately joins the Chinese military at age 20. Having a U.S. passport. That provides a real national security asset to China and a real problem to the United States.
So they might be babies now, Leland, but just like the acting U.S. attorney said, the concern is in 20 years if they're in the Chinese army and they possess a U.S. passport and they can come and go freely, that is very, very valuable to the Chinese government. And by the way, it costs $200,000 roughly to do this, not against the law. The American women make about $70,000 to have the Chinese baby.
The patience of the Chinese and these plans that they make is incredible.
That's genius, though.
We in the West don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. Even if you had the idea, you're like, that's 20 years from now. Don't even worry about doing that.
Right.
I'm not gonna rent a womb in China, become a Chinese citizen, and then bring them to America and indoctrinate them and then send them back to China. That's what they're doing to us.
Yep. Yeah. To your point, we don't have the patience to sit through a commercial break during a TV show.
Right.
We're certainly not going to wait for a generation to grow up and come back. I mean, that is...
My gosh.
That's a genius plan.
It really is.
And we are not very smart.
Look at all the plans of the progressives and the communists. I mean, these things have been in place for 100 years and more. The whole education thing that they took over, that took a long time to make that happen. They infiltrated the educational system in America. It didn't used to be that it was all progressive. Especially, I mean, the Ivy League, completely progressive. What is it, 95% of them? I mean, that takes time and effort and patience to make it happen. Gosh, you're planting a seed in a womb.
Literally.
And making it grow 20 years from now. And your plan might pay off.
How do you stop? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know how you.
That's
I don't know what the
crazy.
solution is here.
Jeez.
Other than change, but that I got to.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Help.
Gotta put some noodle to that.
Let's.
Wow.
I mean, that might be a constitutional amendment time.
Yeah. Holy cow. That's amazing. All right. There's a Pennsylvania paper calling for John Fetterman to resign because they don't like what he's doing. They're citing a growing alignment with the Republican Party and President Donald Trump. In a guest editorial published by Penn Live, Matt Rohn, chair of the Cumberland County Democrat Party, criticized the senator from Pennsylvania for what he described as abandoning Democratic values. He's been willing to work with Republicans. How dare he be bipartisan? Including being the first Senate Democrat to meet Trump after his victory. Yeah.
I don't know that I knew that.
He was the first. He broke with progressives on issues like support for Israel and immigration.
And that, let's be honest, that's the root of this pushback from the left.
You bet.
It's that he was over in Israel, that he's full-throated support of Israel in their fight against Hamas. Oh, by the way, shout out to Israel for they eliminated that the head of Hamas 2 days after he took over. So they eliminated the one guy.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, they eliminated the new guy.
And isn't this might be the third?
Oh, it's several. Yeah.
I think, it's they're down the line, several guys.
So who's next? Not me. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know who's next. You know what might make this go away is if you just surrender and release the hostages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a good idea. It's a really good idea. This Pennsylvania paper does make a really good point, though. They're basically saying we cannot abide a Democrat senator who's making sense in public. If he continues to make sense, voters will start to expect other Democrats to make sense, too. And then the whole party is virtually over. So I don't blame him for being upset about this.
Yeah, give us our brain-dead rubber stamp vote back.
That's all they need.
Yep.
They want him to... No. To his credit, that's basically what he has told them. And he's getting all kinds of flack from Democrats. And it's weird because his votes haven't really changed all that much.
Right.
He's been open to things, but he's still voting the same way. But that's not good enough for them. That's not good enough. He can't even say nice things about Donald Trump. If you do, you're a traitor to the Democrat Party. So he's in a really tough situation since his reboot.
Yep.
But I love his reboot. Other Democrats have been exposed for being influencers who are paid. Do we have the proof now that?
Oh, so these are the Democrat ones, right?
Yes. Yeah. All the Democrats, including
Harry Sisson.
Harry Sisson is on this list. Does it say how much he got?
No, but
I want to know how much he got.
But it's according to the guy who got this information, it's on the millions of dollars. And what you see in blacked out redacted is their personal address, so he redacted that.
Oh, good. Okay.
And then what you see in colors is what is their genre. Beauty, political talk, chef. So and they'll divide it in. Of course, you got the X accounts.
Look how many there are.
Oh, there's Pat. That's page 1. Let's go to page 2.
Yeah, that's
okay.
So organic.
All right. Yep.
Here's page 2. Let's go to page 3.
Huh? All right.
There's page 3.
Page 3.
Wow.
There's
how many pages are there?
3.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
Spoiler alert.
Still, that's a lot of names of a lot of people who are being paid by Democrats to say good things about Democrats and their policies.
But the one name I did not find was Chris Mowry, bicep guy.
Oh, the guy who pounded his bicep behind Harry Sisson.
His name was not there.
They don't pay him to pound his bicep?
He's pissed.
Oh, wow.
I bet they're having a falling out over this.
I bet they are. Wait, you got paid? And I really meant it? Yeah, sorry, Chris. Sorry. you got scammed.
So on the right, they pay you to talk bad about SNAP benefits dropping access to sugary drinks.
Oh,
and that was...
Is that what they're doing with Republicans?
Yeah, they're saying
they're
taking away choice. No, we're taking away tax dollars paying for crap foods. Anyway, so that was a big thing over the weekend with a bunch of conservative influencers being outed on taking money to retweet stuff in favor of Big Soda.
Any we know who are on the take from Big Soda?
Yes. So the Democrats have like a nice big spreadsheet and all sorts of good stuff. So that's a cottage industry right there.
Yeah. And it all added up to millions that they're paying these people.
That we probably paid.
Yeah, probably. I bet Act Blue is probably footing the bill for a lot of that. I mean, they got billions in their coffers. Wow. All right, we've got overtime coming up still today, and then we'll be back middle of the week tomorrow morning. See you then.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.